Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All day long, I see inspirational videos, and they look very inspiring, and I always send them to myself with the intention of looking at them someday. I can't look at all this stuff. It's too much inspiration sometimes. Too much inspiration, not enough perspiration, right? Anybody can be inspired, but to take action, that takes a lot of, legwork and stuff that a lot of people just don't want to do. Less today more than ever before because, there's all kinds of weed floating around, and people are high as a kite. And when you're high as a kite, you don't want to do anything. And when you have a feeling of contentment and euphoria, you don't really need to do the work to change your state. You know what I mean? Usually, let's say you work hard and you make money and you buy yourself a house and wow, that feels great. You got the feeling from working hard and accomplishing something. And there's my new house. Wow, that's pride. Well, why not just skip all that and take a great big hit on the doober? And then you feel totally satisfied. No, that edge, that anxiety, you need a little bit of it in your life. I keep hearing these people, it calms my nerves. It makes me relaxed. You don't want to be too relaxed. All right? You want to have a little bit of edge. What do you think President Trump would be doing now if he were a habitual pot user? If, like many of his peers in the 1970s, say, when he was 29 years old, if he started smoking pot and doing cocaine like the cool people at Studio 54, he wouldn't be president of the United States. I don't know what he'd be doing. He'd probably not be alive right now. He's made noise about this before. Can you imagine me on drugs? He's already, at a different frequency, shall we say. All right. Now, the Iran war stuff is I get it. General Holt told us what the hell is really going on here. And if it has to be done, it has to be done. These people, they're getting on his nerves. But we're sending all kinds of messages to Zelensky. If you guys don't bring this in for a landing, there's no telling what we'll do. All right? We can make your life very, very hard. Just look at what we're doing to Iran right now. They got on my bad side. They got on his bad side. You got President Trump sitting next to the NATO guy, Ruta. Okay? Just sent you a bunch. Take a look. I also want to talk about Dana Perino from Fox and Friends. Fox and Friends, right? Fox and Friends. They used to call it Fox and Fiends. Now, I like Dana. But how much does she really like Trump? They're always trying to stick it to Trump over there. I know they got Hannity and Waters, but they got a lot of people. The bureaucracy there is all freaked out about him. Can I hear? And you got to remember Dana Perino. Where did she get her big start in politics, or her big break, I should say? George W. Bush made her the press secretary, and she's been dining out on that ever since. Are we ready? All right, I want to hear this for myself on the set of Fox and Friends. Go ahead.
So what's your takeaway from that give and take? First off, they asked the president about his blind trust. They said, look, you made money in crypto. He's like, I have nothing to do with that. That's what happens when presidents go into office, right? They put their money elsewhere.
So I don't know enough about the details. He put out a disclosure yesterday. It was eye-opening for a lot of people that you can make that kind of money. Maybe it is in crypto, maybe it's not, but it does feel a little bit like, wait, what is going on? And the White House they have a good point. They're like, well, everybody's making money, everybody's better. But if they think that this issue is not permeating across the country with people going, wait, what? They're not exactly on the most solid ground here. He did a decent job of trying to get the ball down the field a little bit and to deflect, but there's no doubt about that. But it's also the other questions of like, but then your children are involved in this. And if you remember, we spent a lot of time talking about Hunter Biden. Maybe his mistake was only asking for $10 million from Ukraine because maybe he wasn't smart enough to figure everything else. Now, these people are businessmen, and they know what they're doing, and they're looking at their big plans, and they're not afraid to take a risk. And if you take a risk, that's how you can make a little bit of money. But you also have to have someone to help maybe open a door, and that's what's happening.
The decision.
I don't know. I don't like that whatsoever. And she's equating it to Hunter Biden, for crying out loud, who had no skill whatsoever. And she said, "Oh, if they don't think this is permeating, that people are talking about this and it's rubbing them the wrong way, I expect billionaires to be billionaires, right? I expect that. I think that's okay. I also know Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr. I know, and I'm talking about, I know their skill set. I know what they've done. I know that they have masters in business. I know that they went to the Wharton School. I know that they've been in business decades before the old man went into politics. And by old man, I mean their father. That used to be a thing that people used to call their father. I never liked that. My old man. How about guys who call their wife old lady? I don't like that either. That's very disrespectful. Hey, really makes you want to... never mind. So it's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot, but you know where it's coming from, right? She's a bushy. And it's about as aggressive as she's going to get, but that's pretty aggressive. All right, do me a favor. I would like to, if you don't mind, go to some of the highlights of President Trump on the Iran war situation. They stepped out of line. We threw that MOU out. A lot of people were saying the MOU, got to walk away from it. There's a lot of stuff going on in President Trump's head that he's not going to tell us, but there's a lot that he is telling us. Go ahead, Carlos, please. Yes, no, maybe.
The Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think
I got to know them. So I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based on their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them. And I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job. Yeah.
All right. We're just going to finish the job. Keep going, if you don't mind. President Trump on this entire situation. Go!
We attacked very powerfully last night. The very dangerous people from Iran. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. We said, go and do your funeral stuff. And instead of that, they start shooting rockets at ships yesterday. And so we hit them very hard last night, very hard. I would say 20-1, 20 times tougher. And I told them every time you hit, we hit. And of course they're dirty players, so they go after everyone, probably including me. I've been number 1 on their list for years. And they're a bunch of scum, you want to know the truth. They're scum. And so we don't like them. I don't like them. And they're evil people, and it's the denuclearization of Iran. And we're going to denuke it. We're not going to let them because they're crazy, and they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they go around killing people. They've killed thousands and thousands of our soldiers. They've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people. They had the roadside bomb, Soleimani. I took care of him, first term. And that was a big thing because I think they probably would be a lot stronger had he been around because he was a bad guy, but he was an evil genius, but a bad guy. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. The roadside bomb is a bomb that goes on when you're driving your little vehicle around, and it goes on and you have no legs, no arms, and no face. And they've killed thousands and thousands of people. Even the SS Cole was theirs.
All right. Little bit of a history. I hate that saying, but the gloves are off, right? We're back at it. A lot of people wanted us to be back at it. Do we have to finish the job? I was hoping. You know, you got to hear this whole thing. A lot of things can be true at the same time. I can tell you right now, the American people are not particularly worried. I know some people on the woke right are all worked up about this, right? A lot of the people who hate Israel are worked up about this. We can do this. Literally, we could do a lot of other things. I never noticed this much upset among conservatives during, 8 years of the Iraq War and during 20 years of the war in Afghanistan. And where the hell were they? Right? And how about the Ukraine-Russia war? Nobody seems to mind. Just more weapons, more time, who cares, more money. Never any kind of rush toward peace. And now this war must end and never should have been started. Why is it that they seem to be totally okay with wars that go on forever? This thing has been 4 months, and possibly you divide that in half. I think it's been about 60 days of bombing. For somebody like me who's been to both Iraq and Afghanistan, both as a journalist, although I flew over Iraq as a pilot in a jet that was prone to catastrophic malfunction, flying over that stupid country about weapons of mass destruction that did not exist, and then going into that country during the invasion, again for the weapons of mass destruction that did not exist. How many American lives? About 5,000, I think. How many Iraqi lives? About 100,000. Oops. And I got to tell you, because I was in the middle of it, and I was watching it every step of the way, and I was living it. Over at Fox News, they had all the time in the world for that war, and they thought, yes, keep on. Yeah, you got to support the troops. If you don't support the war, you don't support the troops. What about the weapons of mass destruction? What do you think you are? Huh? Where did this liberal come from? Hey, Brett, why don't you go over there and embed for 3 weeks? How about 3 months? That guy, to this day, all these hotshots. I've been to Iraq 26 times. So you've been there for 12 hours? It's amazing that some of these guys even bothered to get off the plane. All right. I'll stop there because I might say something that he might regret. Vice President Vance is speaking about fraud. I'd like to know more about how that guy lost the weight. He lost the weight before they came out with the GLPs and the Ozempic and the Zepbound and this, that, and the other thing. How do they do it? How does he keep it off? Anyway, it's very, very impressive. And are we ready? All right, I just want to hear a little bit of this. He's talking about fighting fraud. This has been his big thing. Hit it, please.
To Representative Glenn Grothman. Where is Glenn at? Glenn, thank you for everything that you're doing.
This is always nice when they thank everybody. It reflects very good staff work. You know what I've been trying to do, and I haven't been able to do, is read the Bible. You know, I want to read the Bible more. And I may just have to read it with you on this show if I'm really going to do it. The things start immediately in the morning. Immediately. The kids, the wife, the this, the school, the camp. Boom, 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 boom. Very hard to find that time. Very interesting that Michael Cohen is here at WABC, Red Apple Media, isn't it? People are responding, some positively, some negatively. I think it should be more positive than negative. Again, it's a beautiful thing, forgiveness. It's also a beautiful thing, collaboration. Now, it looks like Michael Cohen has been very, very helpful and is poised to be very, very helpful in getting this crazy Stormy Daniels case put to bed finally. You know that Stormy Daniels case, technically speaking, is still there. It hasn't been dismissed. It's been punted. It's still in the legal system, and they're working to get it thrown out, but it hasn't been thrown out yet. And Michael Cohen has just written a brilliant piece on Substack about why this case should be thrown out. And I'm told that the Trump legal team is actually using it. Anyway, I love it when enemies make friends. And that is inspiring. Okay? And it's very Christ-like. And all of us could be a lot more like him if we tried. And, well, with help. I mean, if we tried, we need him to do it. We need him, capital H, to pull it off. As we go to break, I want to see what J.D. Vance is up to this time. Has he gotten through with all the formalities?
For lots of product. Billions and billions of dollars was being billed to you, was being billed to the program that exists to ensure that our seniors have health care. And you know what that means. Number one, the fraudsters were getting rich. But number two, our seniors who desperately needed those resources, who needed the hospital beds and the oxygen tanks, they weren't getting them because the fraudsters were getting rich off the generosity of the American taxpayer. So you know what we did? We came in and we said, we are not sanctioning a single one of these companies to defraud the American people. If you say that you're going to provide medical equipment to our seniors, we're going to confirm that you're actually delivering product before we pay a single one of those bills. And we save billions of dollars.
Nice going. This is a lot better than Al Gore reforming the government. Anybody remember that joke? Be right back.
Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks are back at SIUH Community Park July 7th to the 12th for a 6-game series against the High Point Rockers. Wednesday, July 8th with first pitch at 6:30. It's Woo Wednesday in collaboration with the Wu-Tang Clan. The Ferry Hawks transform into the Shaolin Hawks. Thursday, July 9th, first pitch is at 6:30. It's Thirsty Thursday with $5 Bud and Bud Light Traps.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. Greg Kelly
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know, this whole Trump accounts thing that's actually happening is a huge deal. It's seismic. Has not received nearly adequate attention given the impact it's going to have. Trump accounts are tax-advantaged investment accounts for U.S. citizens under age 18. Okay, this is according to the website here, designed to help families build long-term wealth. They function similarly to custodial IRAs, with funds typically invested in broad market indexes and annual contribution limits capped at $5,000. Now, children born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2028. Well, that rules out my kids. They were born in 2020 and 2021. They're eligible to receive a $1,000 government pilot contribution, $1,000. Additionally, millions of children in qualifying zip codes may receive further charitable deposits from foundations like the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. All right, I don't think I'm eligible for that. And I think there has something to do with income and that kind of thing. But look, this is great because a lot of people do not know, and I don't think I appreciated it until recently. I remember when I started to try to save money when I was 22 out of college, even when I was working in high school. I'm only making $35 a week at this paper route. Why bother saving? Why didn't I go buy a video game? And I did, the Atari cartridges. If I think back now to the money I should have been investing then, if I have any financial regrets, it's not, I don't have any regrets since I started making money. It's when I was working basically minimum wage jobs that I wasn't more careful with that money. Because if I had been more careful with that money and invested that, I'd be in I don't know. I'm not talking about private jet, but I think I'd probably be worth double what I'm worth right now. Einstein said the most powerful force in the universe is compounding interest. Isn't that kind of cool? You know, $1 becomes $1.10, and then that makes interest, and that becomes $2.11, I guess. Well, however it works, compounding interest is real.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Underway into the vetting is underway finally into some of these crazy communists who have just been nominated for major offices in the United States, and the stuff that's coming out, unfortunately, will not be all that usable in the general, at least in the congressional races. But the others at the Senate level, like this Saeed guy, apparently he's not a real doctor. He calls himself doctor, not in the Jill Biden sense, but in another weirdo sense. I think that's could be gold. Could be. The return of the Gentlemen's Club. Are you a member of a Gentlemen's Club? I am, actually. I joined they probably want me to be discreet about it because it's a private club. I can't tell you the name of it. I want to tell you the name of it, but I can't. But it's I should be able to tell you the name. Let me get back to you on that. But listen to this. It's from this guy who's starting a new gentleman's club. And he writes as follows. For nearly 300 years, gentlemen's clubs like White's, Boodle's, and the Garrick were among the most respected institutions in the world. It's got a picture here of a bunch of, guys playing billiards and backgammon, smoking. Some of them are in tuxedos. And then the next thing it says, but by the 21st century, that's now, they struggled to attract new members, and they entered a state of serious decline. Meanwhile, the idea of men gathering together has been demonized in the age of social media. Male-only spaces are accused of being sexist, outdated, or promoting toxic masculinity. But if the past COVID era has taught us one thing, it's that men need camaraderie and belonging more than ever. Today, a gentleman's club does not have to be limited to one city or a physical location. Often, men form the strongest bonds over shared values and interests, shared experiences, shared growth. That's why they created a members club, an international society of over 150 gentlemen across 15 countries. Maybe I should join. Comment and then explore our members club today. They'll happily answer my questions and help me determine whether members club is the right fit for me and you. Let's take a look at some of these guys. They all look like upstanding individuals. Some young, some old. Some black, some white. What do you say? I think I'll inquire. You got to be careful with these clubs, though. They can nickel and dime you to death. Every time you turn around, you think it's free. It's not free. But that's okay. And then you got to pay dues. And sometimes there's an initiation fee. But I think it's worth it. I've met lots of interesting people at my club. And they have a rule, by the way. If you enter a room and there are people there, right, already, everybody has to introduce themselves. It's like a custom. Yeah. It's kind of nice in a way. You don't look at each other. I'll tell you what, one day what happened, all right. I walked into a room and Michael Douglas was sitting there. Michael Douglas, the actor. So following the custom of the club, hello, Michael, I'm Greg. Or no, hello, I'm Greg. Oh, I'm Michael. Good to see you. And then I shared with him that I was actually in a movie with him. And he was like, what? No, I was an extra in Traffic, which was a very, very excellent movie. Hey, one other thing, because this came off of social media, there's somebody else I really, really super duper like on social media. His name is Frank Scales, and he's from something called Surge Philly. And out of respect for and reverence for Charlie Kirk, after he died, he decided to hit the streets and pick up the Charlie Kirk mantle. And he did it in a beautiful way. Sometimes just talking to people. Like just going to the crazy lesbian rally, right? Lesbians Against Fascism, I think it was, and asking questions. Listen to what happened to him when he asked questions of the anti-fascists about what fascism is. Cut 12.
Do you think President Trump is a fascist?
Yes.
Why is President Trump a fascist?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, what is fascism?
I'm also not sure, but I know that man isn't worth the time.
Do you think President Trump is a fascist?
Yes.
How is President Trump a fascist?
Dead stare. Man in a dress. Stunned.
I don't think it's going to work.
Do you think President Trump's a fascist?
I actually just took a fascism class, and we did not discuss that, but I have my own thoughts on President Trump.
You took a fascism class?
I did.
What is fascism?
Fascism to me is with, there's like different definitions. There was
get
a
your
guy with a
textbook?
check. Yes, I can. Let me pull it up.
Did you find out what fascism means yet?
I know what fascism means, but I'm trying to give the different definitions to compare and contrast.
Can you give me one definition?
No, there's no one definition of fascism. It's still highly debated among historians.
Can you give me a definition?
It's when you're...
I actually think I'm done engaging.
Wait, no, but I want to talk.
Yeah, I want to talk. I want to be on social media. I don't know anything, and here I am with my signs and my crazy clothes, and I can't even give a definition. If I were going to go to the trouble to be at the anti-fascism rally and take over streets and all that stuff, I would have at least a working knowledge of fascism or something I could say about it. For instance, fascism is an authoritarian political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, extreme nationalism, disdain for individual rights, and a centralized autocratic government. It often involves the suppression of political dissent, a controlled economy, and the promotion of a strong, often militaristic national identity. All right. So they hear one thing about President Trump cheering on America. That's fascism, right? Or President Trump's executive orders or President Trump. None of it is fascism. None of it is authoritarian. None of it is contrary to individual rights. You know, protecting the rights of children, not allowing kids to get transgender. That's not fascism, folks. That's protecting children. Okay. Anyway, nice job, Surge Philly. Everybody check out Surge Philly. You can go to Surge Philly on social media. It is all over the place, and I love it. The real thing. What did you want to say, Diane, about the Bible? Yes.
I just want to let you know I've been listening to you for years, and you're saying you read the Bible and people should get back to it and blah, blah, blah. So I've finally gotten myself to the point where I get up in the morning, I set my timer for 15 minutes, and I read it, and I'm just finding that I'm more relaxed and peaceful. And I just want you to know that you say some good things and people listen to you. And thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And I was just talking about how, the Bible has I have allowed it to slip out of my daily routine. And I was doing it for years. And lately, it hit or miss. And I don't like that. And I feel it. So I'm so glad you have that. And what you said is so true, right? It's the ultimate cure for anxiety. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, isn't it? Wow. It's wow. I'm so glad you're doing that. Diane, can I ask, what version of the Bible did you pick up?
I had somebody give me a Bible. It says NIN on it. And it happened. I do sales, and I went to somebody's house, and we were talking, and God came up. And she's like, she promised to donate 2 Bibles to people over the course of the year. And I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this. How many signs do I need? So I took their Bible. It was St. James. And I'm just reading through it from the beginning, a little bit at a time. And I'm grateful that you kept saying that, because I don't know if you hadn't said it, if I would have really bothered to do it.
Well, I am so grateful, and thank you. Thank you. And by the way, what it says on the side of your Bible there is actually, I believe, NIV, which stands for the New International Version of the Bible. NIV is widely used by many Christians, many Christian denominations, and is known for its balance between readability and accuracy in translation. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. I had to look that up. Diane, I'm happy for you. Thank you very much for sharing. You inspire me now, actually. You inspire me to get back in the book, the good book, and do it on a daily basis at a fixed time. My life is interesting and active, but certainly not too active for God. When everything comes from Him, capital H, I thank you very, very much. Very, very beautiful. Tom is in Philadelphia. Yes, sir.
Hey, Greg. I called. Well, first of all, Dana Perino comes across like Judge Janine compared to Shannon Marine, I'll tell you. But That's not why I called.
That's a really inside, but it totally works analogy. I get it. What else?
Well, I was calling. I was down in Washington. I took my nephew. He's had this disease, ankylosing spondylitis, for years, and he was able to get out of bed. I've been praying for him to go because he's a conservative from a media parent who's won a few Academy Awards, who's also a conservative and blackballed, but we're driving around down there trying to get him in close so he doesn't have to walk too far. And we went from one checkpoint based on what they told us, whether it would be the cops or the National Guard. And I was attached to the Marine Corps.
All right, so wait, what happened? I'm getting a little bit confused. What's the bottom line?
What happened was they confused us, I think, on purpose, because you couldn't be that incompetent. And
what, they gave you the wrong directions or what?
Yeah, you go down to here, and then we get there, and we close this entrance, and it was all day on.
That happens all the time. So did you get to see any good stuff or no?
No, because we couldn't get in. The same thing happened on the 4th. I hate to say it, I think they wanted to keep the numbers down to make Trump look bad. And
that is interesting. You know what? Now we're on to something. How about that? That rings true.
Confidence. I mean, the guys at the lower ends didn't know. Some actually called in and they'd send you to 5 blocks away. I mean, I must have, and I'm almost 75 in recovery, and I did a lot of damage to his body and brain, but I could tell you that I met a lot of nice people. We had a lot of great conversations, but, the longer I walk from one entrance to the next and the next and the next, I don't know how many commanders they had for the National Guard down there, but they should all be relieved immediately.
Well, we don't know that, all right? We don't know yet. Hey, Tom, do me a favor. Keep in touch on this thing. I'm going to make some inquiries, okay? And it was National Guardsmen you said were giving you the runaround?
I would say that again?
National Guardsmen were the ones giving you the runaround?
And the cops. It was like, nobody knew anything, but yet they acted like they did, and they sent you to a different exit and an exit. And
I hear you. How old is your... I'll check it out, because it seems plausible that they were trying to screw it up. I could totally see that happening. All right, one more. Elliot, yes, sir.
It might be Monday night quarterbacking, but the whole problem with Iran all started with Ronald Reagan.
What the hell did he do?
After he got back the 52 hostages that were left, he should have taken them out.
What do you mean taking them out? What do you mean by taking them out? What does that mean?
Go to war with them.
Go to war. Just go to war.
Well, how many thousands of people died because of it?
How? Let me ask you something. Do you know why we got and how we got those hostages back?
Huh?
Do you know how we got those hostages back?
Because Jimmy Carter was inept.
Forget Jimmy Carter. Do you know how we got him back? You realize that Ronald Reagan's people were talking to the Iranians behind the scenes. Are you aware of that?
Before that.
Yeah,
100%.
Before the election. I mean, look, we don't know this, but there's a lot of indication to suggest that the Reagan people were very, very concerned about an October surprise, i.e. Carter lets him go, gets him back, and wins the election. They were worried about that, and they were telling the Iranians behind the scenes, we'll have a better situation for you. We'll have a better situation for you. Look, man, a lot of things were going on in 1980. You said it yourself, Monday morning quarterbacking, all right? Monday morning quarterback. Ronald Reagan won the Cold War. He did it with his brain. He did it with his own philosophy. I don't think we just go to war with Iran. Maybe, but I think that might have been I don't know, man. You could be right, but I don't want to blame Reagan for anything right now. I think he did a lot of great things for this country. He wasn't perfect. He certainly wasn't perfect, but man, he was a great president. No Trump. Elliot is an interesting thing to consider, all right? I am more open-minded than I was 30 seconds ago. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
In the Old Testament, Psalm 93, the majesty of the Lord. The Lord reigns. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord has clothed and girded himself with strength. Indeed, the world is firmly established. It will not be moved. Your throne is established from of old. You are from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O Lord. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their pounding waves, more than the sounds of many waters, than the mighty breakers of the sea. The Lord on high is mighty. Your testimonies are fully confirmed. Holiness befits your house, O Lord, forevermore. And that's the entire psalm. Now, for a little bit on what that means, and I can ponder it normally, but that's Psalm 93. If you want to tackle the Bible, if you want to go about it, it's not as a gargantuan task as you might think. There are small passages to consume and consider. Now, if to break this down a little bit more, well, that doesn't actually help me. Let me see here. I got a little footnote here. What that means, the Lord reigns. He is clothed with majesty, clothed with majesty. This is the interpretation in the Charles Stanley Life Principles Bible. We are children of the sovereign Lord of all that exists, and he has the power and wisdom to make everything happen as he desires. Nothing can frustrate his plans, and no one can derail his promises. That's why we can trust him. I believe. I so believe, and I want more. Him. Capital H. I do have to find a way either here, but better in private. Better in private. I don't want to seem like I'm boasting or I'm leading or I know more than I do, because I'm still learning about that, about the Bible. Still learning, still on a journey, big time. And I need it because I am inherently sinful, like all of us. We were born in it, mired in it. Any way we try to beat sin on our own, it gets complicated. Look at me, I'm a great person because I don't do those bad things. No, it doesn't. That's not the way to look at it. But on some level, you do. If you're not getting your strength from him, that is my belief. Al, hello, real quick.
Greg, I just wanted to say that you talked about walking into a room with men. In 2009, I was in the basement mentally. So a friend of mine turned me on to this work with men called the Sterling Men's Week. I got in a room with 300 men for 3 days. And the stuff that I heard, that I wasn't alone. And what I learned from that is that men support men that are in the basement. Listen to a man, but listen to him without judgment. There's a lot of people in our circles that are in their heads and they need support from their men. And what they tell you is they teach you something and it becomes a way of life to be a good person, a good man, an example to children. That's what I want to share with you. And I did it, and it becomes a way of life. And it's to support all men that you see that are in the bay. Like you talk about the president, he forgave COVID. So all of us can do that. And
I love it. I love it. Look, there's the music. I love it. Fellowship is so important. And actually, that's talked about in the Bible as well. What was this group called, Al?
The Sterling Men's Weekend. Justin Sterling, he passed away.
I love it. Hey, Al, thank you for sharing. Very inspirational and very beautiful. See you later.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?